Hi, this is Ruvain Spolter with this week's Parsha Riddle and Lesson of the Week for Parshat Vayera, Tafshin Pei Aleph. Our question this week is, who taught Benjamin Franklin to speak little, do much? I found this quote, speak little, do much, quoted in the name of Benjamin Franklin in Poor Richard's Almanac. But of course, Benjamin Franklin didn't make this up at all. Rather, he got this information from Pirkei Avot. But where do we get it from Pirkei Avot? So I'll just show you. This is our Kitah lesson. This is Pirkei Avot, Perek Aleph, Mishnah Tetvav. Shammai Omer, the great Shammai, one of the original Tanaim, way back, millennia ago. He said the following: Aseh Toratcha Keva, make your Torah Keva, set, fixed, Emor Ma'at, V'aseh Harbe. Say a little, V'aseh Harbe, and do a lot. Talk is cheap. Everyone likes to talk. Rather than talking a lot, say a little, and that's where Benjamin Franklin got his phrase. It's not poor. He didn't make it up. It was an aphorism: speak little, do much. But where did Shammai get it from? The answer to that is in this week's Parshah. We read in the Parshah that Avraham Avinu was waiting in his tent. The Midrash tells us after his Brit Milah, but he wanted to welcome the guests, and he saw the Malachim come. He saw the angels come, and he sees them walking by. And he runs up to them and he says the following, Vayomar, and he says, Adonai, that's not God's name, my masters. Imna matzati chen be'inecha, al na ta'avor me'al avdecha. If I have found favor in your eyes, do not pass from upon your servant. Don't leave, stay. Yukachna ma'at mayim, v'rachatzun raglechem. We'll take a little water, we'll wash your feet off. V'yishanu tachat ha'etz, and rest, lean under the tree, take it easy. And what will we do? Va'ekcha pat lechem v'sa'adu libchem achar ta'avoru. And I'll take pat lechem, I'll take a little bit of bread, sa'adu from this od, and you will sustain your hearts, and then you can leave. Ki al ken avartem al avdechem. That's why you have passed in front of your servant. Meaning, stay, sit under the tree, take it easy, I'll bring you a little bit to eat. Everything's great. Vayomru, and they said, Kain taseh kasher dibarta. Do it, yes, that sounds really nice. We'd really appreciate it. You see, by the way, this beauty of Avraham Avinu, he's begging them to stay. He wants to do chesed so much. He's begging them to stay. But the Midrash says, listen, how did Avraham get them to stay? What would happen if I said, stay, because I'm in the middle of preparing a 7-course meal. And I'd really like you to stay, because I really want to give him, no, it's too much trouble. I don't want to do that. So what did Avraham say? He said, Va'ekcha pat lechem. I'll give you a little bread. I have something lying around. It's all fine. Is that what Avraham did? It's not what he did. Rather, Avraham gave them, he ran to the house and he told Sarah, you can read later on, this is Perek Yudchet, you read later on together, that Avraham went and he slaughtered 3 animals, and the Midrash said he gave him tongue and mustard, and he made them fresh bread. He gave them the whole meal. So we've seen the Mishnah of Shammai who said, Emor ma'at v'aseh harbe. So many of you know, there's this thing called Avot, Pirkei Avot, which is a Masechet in the Mishnah. But there's also another Midrash, a Masechet of Midrash called Avot Rabbi Natan. And that's a secondary Masechet that kind of runs parallel to Masechet Avot, that sort of expands upon the lessons of Masechet Avot. And says Avot Rabbi Natan, Emor me'at v'aseh harbe ketzai. So they said, okay, we have Rabbi Natan said, Shammai said, Emor me'at v'aseh harbe. Speak a little and do a lot. Ketzai, what does that mean? Melamed, it teaches us, shetzadikim omrim me'at v'osim harbe. The righteous, they talk a little bit and they do a lot. They don't have to tell everybody, they don't have to talk about it, but they do a lot. Aval rishayim, but the wicked, omrim harbe, they talk a lot. Va'afilu ma'at einam osim, and they don't even do a little bit. They're all talk, and they never back it up with any action. So minayin shetzadikim omrim me'at v'osim harbe. How do we know that the righteous talk a little and do a lot? Sheken matzinu be'Avraham Avinu. We saw in Avraham our forefather. She'amar la malachim. He said, Patatem suadim imi hayom. Here, I'll give you a little bit of bread. Just eat bread. As it says, Ve'ekcha pat lechem v'sa'adu libchem. I'm just going to highlight that so you'll see the pasuk. Where do we get that from? Ve'ekcha pat lechem v'sa'adu libchem. Pasuk. You'll take a little bit of bread, right? And you'll gladden your heart. You just eat a little bit. But what did he do? Aval ba'achrona re'ema asa Avraham lemalachei Asher. What did he do in the end? She'ala ve'alach ve'asa lehem shlosha shvarim. He slaughtered 3 animals, 3 whole oxen. V'teisha she'el sin she'solet, and 9 sa'ah, a huge amount of fine flour. He spoke a little. He said, stay a little bit, but then he made them a huge meal. And that's how he spoke a little, and more ma'at. That's what Shammai means from emor ma'at, speak a little and do a lot. That's the answer to our riddle. Who taught Benjamin Franklin speak little, do much? Benjamin Franklin learned it from Shammai, and Shammai learned it from Avraham Avinu. Have a Shabbat Shalom.